about rapping and
but do you think
not only that? Think about the music today and the cadence.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Give me a hot beat and I could be famous. All
Absolutely.
I gotta do is and make up words.
Make up words and you'll make it.
But think about it. It's the beat.
It's the beat.
Most people get comfortable. They stop growing. They stop working on themselves. They stop stretching. They stop pushing themselves. And they end up becoming very cynical about life. And they throw in the towel on themselves, on their families, and on their dreams. And the other thing is that most people don't feel worthy. What I'm doing now, I could have been doing years ago.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the 24 Karat Black YouTube channel. This is your man, one half of the brand, Abe
KL.
Today, we're talking about hypocrisy. And when we say hypocrisy, we really mean hip-hopcrisy. So we're going to talk about music and some of the effects that it could have on our society, hip-hop, and hip-hop music, and how it could kind of affect the way that people are perceiving it. So just want to kind of talk about how powerful music is, and the influence that could be misconstrued, because at the base of everything, music is an art. But to the untrained mind, it's reality. Perception is everything.
Right.
So our youth and people who have that untrained mind, or who take these words literal, we want to kind of try to dive into how powerful that can be in a negative way. And kind of how we want to shed light on that. We want to see what you guys think too. So in the comments, we want to get what you guys think as well. So and my take is, I always wanted to talk about this. I love hip hop. I love classic hip hop. Love hip hop. My favorite artist of all time is Tupac. Just because he was more passionate about what he spoke about. Nas, actually Nas is right, right behind Tupac for me. Rakim, I had the pleasure of meeting Nas and Rakim. I always wanted to meet Tupac. So I met them both, but here's the thing. To me, Nas, Rakim, Tupac, they don't get enough credit, but they're like the modern day Shakespeare's. We don't say it, but the poetry and the way that they put the words together and the pictures they paint.
But also, you can't necessarily compare today's music to them too. So
you can't.
It's
tough. It's tough. It's tough.
You can't say the Migos and then say any one of those cats in the same.
Right. You can't say
Tupac,
the same.
Migos, Rakim, the Migos.
Right. They couldn't have been featured. They couldn't have been featured. So let's dive a little deeper here, because there's lyrics that are being used in hip hop, no matter what decade we're talking about here. We have hip hop artists that are rapping things that are so powerful, and it seems to be, it can be a big influence on our society. I see music as art because I've been listening to it so long, but there's people out here who are actually taking this literal. So I would say 85% or 80% of the music and the lyrics are not even true in terms of what they're talking about. I don't think every rapper is fucking or having sex with all the bad women.
But let's also put in this perspective too. How many cats who actually live that life, making that type of money, and still living that life? It's the perception of this is what people want to hear, so we'll talk about it. I heard that, like Future, he talked about the drugs. I heard he didn't even do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard that too.
And then also look at the perception of music back then. Right. They got those guys were talking about shooting people. Yeah. And they did.
Yeah.
Now you have guys that talk that life, and then next thing you know, they on trial and they snitching.
Right.
The Tekashi.
They call him snitch now.
But, if you listen to his music and listen to his interviews, you think he about that life.
That Gummo, when that dropped, that was a lot of energy. And so again, I seen it as art. So to the trained hip hop mind, I've been listening to hip hop for decades. I seen it as art. But also I seen the energy, I felt the energy behind it, but I also understand that young kid, you know, would see it and they would take it as reality. And I want to see, and again, I want to know what you guys think. Is hip hop contributing to a lot of the violence? Like, is it the soundtrack to some of these, you know, inner city violent acts? Are kids actually, you know, because think about it, when I was in high school, I would have headphones in my ear 70% of the day. Like, I would be just listening to hip hop, and it was so much so that it ended up manifesting, like, into the way that I dress, like, into the way that I walk, to the way that I talk, like, the way that I, you know, just seen life, and it was hip hop at the root of things.
Yeah, my opinion on that, I guess from my opinion, I think this is a toss-up. Certain people don't need to listen to music to decide whether or not they're going to kill somebody.
Right, absolutely.
Does it influence the culture? Yeah, to an extent. Rappers talk about certain alcoholic beverages. Now we got to have it.
Right.
If people didn't talk about Gucci, rappers or singers didn't promote Gucci,
right,
we wouldn't wear Gucci. Period.
Right.
You know, there's way more sheep than there are lions.
Sheep.
24 karat black. Go copy some
merch.
Yeah, go
copy right now. 24ktblk.com.
I think for the most part,
but that's kind of.
I think it influenced fashion. I think it influenced the material aspect. But cats nowadays, I don't think they're really about the type of hip hop we grew up. Like, think about it. People back then, right, talked about selling drugs.
Right.
People today, rappers today, are talking about taking it.
But here's the thing: the rapper is the maestro. They control the narrative for society. So if they're talking about taking drugs, then you got these rappers that, when they talk about it, the little kids are now taking drugs.
So I think
people overdosing.
So I think so. Yeah. So they made certain drugs cool, right? I mean,
right.
Yeah, I give you that.
Right.
But on the surface, right?
Yeah.
Do you think if a person ain't already have this hate or want to kill somebody, if they ain't want to do that, they're not gonna do it. Right. I don't care what they listening to. It's like I used to watch the Rocky movies, and when that shit went off, I wanted to box.
You agree?
That type of effect never happened to me watching or listening to music. Ever. Never made me want to. Like, you had the crunk music with Lil Jon there, right? When you would go to the club and you want to jump around, and you got you in the mood to push around, but I didn't think I'm gonna kill nobody.
Not exactly. You know, I mean, well, here's my thing.
From
your perspective, yeah, different minds. I mean, here's the thing though. When I heard certain music, it was the basis of an emotion that I started to feel. Like, I didn't necessarily want to just be Lil Jon. I didn't necessarily want to be, let's say, a Nas, or I didn't necessarily. But the way that they rap, the way that the beat sound, the way that it felt, the melody, it was so different. It was so. It felt like something that I could do. And so I wanted to emulate that to a sense when I was younger. Again, as I grew older, I realized it was just art. And, you know, but I see a lot of people that, you know, me and him, you know, as you guys may know, by now, we grew up in a neighborhood where it was, you know, a whole lot of violence, a whole lot of drugs, a whole lot of that stuff. You know, it was something that, you know, I feel like the music influenced a lot of that. You know, I feel like the music, because here's the thing, all of the drug dealers that we looked up to, all of the cars that was rolling down the street, they were playing hip hop music. When I walked out on my porch, I heard hip hop music. I love hip hop music. I want our people to start embracing it as an art and see the intelligence and how strategic, you know, these rappers are, how smart they are. They're not just necessarily, you know, like Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Meaning he operating like a business.
But think about what you're also saying. It's in the hands of record execs and the radio.
Right.
They only playing what people are listening to.
Absolutely.
Think about it. When we grew up, we was listening to, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Right.
But New York music had a big influence
on us. Yeah.
I think T.I., and I guess maybe Lil Wayne.
T.I. made a splash.
Yeah. So
T.I. made a splash.
Because T.I. was the one that actually was bringing real lyrical content with like a southern twang. We got Lil Wayne too, but he was in that. He was in the group. T.I. was by himself.
Right.
But outside of like those people, to me, music in the South was more theatrics.
Understand? Yeah,
versus up north in New York.
Right.
These guys literally had lyrical content.
Things that like, so me personally, like in the South, I mess with, you know, the Pimp C, the Luke, the Outkast.
So, but again, but still theatrical.
Right,
still,
it was different.
Yeah.
With hip hop, so with me and, you know, KL, like when we grew up in the projects, like the Nas, the Rakim, the Jay-Z, some of their lyrics hit home. It was like, you know, we can learn something from that. You know, we didn't have fathers at the time, you know, when, you know, I never knew my father. And so when they were rapping, some of that stuff were like, it was like jewels.
They was saying the exact same. What's it?
Yeah.
What's the song with the Ghostface? Not Ghostface, Rakim.
No delay.
When he's talking about living in an apartment with his brothers and sisters.
Oh, Ghostface.
Ghostface.
All I Got Is You.
All I Got Is You.
Yeah.
Listening to that,
woo,
takes me back to Oak Street. Like everything he
Lord
rapped about,
Jesus.
every line.
Ghostface. I know you're probably not watching this right now. You will see it though. But that All I Got Is You.
Again, but that shows you the connection.
Bruh.
He's maybe 10 years, maybe older than us.
Yeah.
And
ooh, I encourage all y'all to go watch that video. He's playing the
God.
piano in the hood.
But think about it though. We didn't grow up with him. Different era.
Yeah.
And he was rapping about the same things we were going through. So we can easily relate. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't know that the music put me in a mind to influence me.
Yeah.
But it was easy to listen to because these people are rapping and
but do you think...
Not only that, think about the music today and the cadence.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Give me a high beat and I can be famous. All I gotta do is and make up words.
Make up words and you'll make it.
But think about it, it's the beat.
It's the beat.
Them niggas ain't saying nothing.
But see, beats for us African Americans, it's innate. It's built in our DNA. So we dance to the good beats. But I encourage you guys to start listening to lyrics, and all you guys that are newer or younger rather to the hip hop scene, go back. Study your history, because hip hop has some gems in it. Start at the beginning, all the way back to African Bambaataa and before, like back in the disco era. Like, just get connected with the culture and follow it through. You don't gotta take a lot of time, but just understand. Because I really think that some of these rappers are hypocrites, because what they do is they preach a lifestyle that they themselves don't live,
or probably never live,
and probably never live.
That's the thing. That's the hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
Right? Like, we live that life.
Yeah.
And so that's the life we also glorify.
Right.
So that's what they talk about.
That's what they talk
we
about.
We know half these people, they ain't caught nobody.
They ain't
probably
caught
even
nobody.
actually shot a real gun.
Right.
And so
they talk about it in every song. Please, here's homework for you. Take a rap song, listen to it. Every rapper is gonna rap about women, drugs, and violence. Every song. So you gotta think, okay, these people are not having sex that much. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're having a lot of sex, but they're not necessarily. Aside
from that,
okay.
They 19. How much of a life did they really live that they were able to encompass all of that and they still become famous?
Absolutely.
And still live that life at this point that they still doing those things. It don't work.
It don't work that way.
You don't work your hard to get out of the hood to go back to the hood.
Absolutely.
Like, that ain't real.
That ain't real. So I encourage you, anybody that's watching this, that's young and they're listening, appreciate the art. It's like walking into an art museum and seeing the art on the wall and it hitting you emotionally. Appreciate the arts. The artists put it out there. They did whatever they wanted to do and expressed it however, and they did it for you to receive it however you receive it. And if it connects with you, great. That's how the music should be. But understand that it's just that. It's art. And it's not true. These rappers are not really living that life. They're not. If they were, they would not be alive. I mean, you may have the 1%, 2%, 3% that do it, but you see what happens to that 1%, 2%, 3%. They get caught up. We struggle and we try to get out of the hood and out of this, situation.
The real ones that rap about it will tell you, like, yeah, I'm rapping around it, but realistically, like Jay-Z, your rap should change. You're not 40 years old still talking about the same things you were doing when you was 19.
Right.
And
he might throw a brick line in there, or he might say he pushes away every now and again.
But he's just talking about in reference to what he used to do, and he would literally spin it and saying like my equivalent of a brick or pushing weight now is the millions that I bring in from other avenues. Like, you know,
Jay-Z.
But he's an anomaly.
He's definitely an anomaly, and I big up those brothers and everything they're doing for the culture. But I want to know what you guys think.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
We will respond.
It's hip hop.
To appropriate things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hip hop are most of the artists hypocrites, and are they leading our? Because to me, music is just as powerful as drugs, especially to the untrained mind. Like when they actually hear that music and it hits with a good beat, and the rapper is dressed a certain way, and they're sipping lean and they're smoking, and it looks like, you know, we came from that environment, the real environment. We were in drive-bys. We seen the dead bodies. We seen that. But this is a lifestyle that's being marketed. How much of that do you think is true, and how much of it do you think contributes to the behavior of our ill-advised youth, and the youth that are committing these crimes and things? We want to hear from you guys. Please leave a comment, because this is something that, you know, we're just debating about. You know, we're not saying we're 100% right or wrong. We just want to. This is our opinion.
Let us know. We'll get back to you. Leave a comment.
If you're
subscribe if you have not.
Right. If you're new to this channel, just know that this is, you know, again, 24 Karat Black. We're a clothing brand. It's deeper than fabric. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. Put on those post notifications. Read, you know, the description box.
And look for a new post every Friday.
Every Friday. We love y'all. Appreciate it.
Peace.
Peace.
Me to control my destiny, I didn't act on my ideas. So I applaud you for your dreaming. I can tell you that it's possible.